My name is Holly, and I'm a student at Liberty University. I'm currently pursuing my bachelor's degree in crisis intervention counseling. For one of my recent classes, I was tasked with finding someone in the field of psychology, counseling, mental health, anything like that, and just conducting a brief interview. The purpose of this interview was really just to kind of gain some insight from someone who's actually in the field as to what it's like and see what recommendations they might have for someone who's thinking about going into that field. So for this interview, I got to meet with a Mrs. Nora Freeman, and she was amazing. Unfortunately, I did not get to record the interview, so I'm going to do my best to kind of summarize what she said. She has such a beautiful way of speaking and saying things, and I'm not gifted in that way, so I'm just going to do my best not to butcher it and tell her story as best I can. Miss Nora Freeman is a licensed professional counselor in the state of South Carolina. She began counseling about 20 years ago, and she currently has her own private practice, and she also teaches part-time pastoral counseling classes at a local Bible college. So, Miss Nora says that growing up, she always wanted to help people. That was just something that she grew up wanting to do. She did not ever think that that would be counseling. And after she went to high school, she went on to college, and she became an early education teacher. She stayed with education for about 11 years, and during that time period, she got married, she had children, and it wasn't until her husband got involved in ministry and actually became a pastor that she had her first experience with counseling. As he was pastoring, they together got involved as pastoral counselors, and that was her first experience, and she said it was her second calling. So they did that for a while, just doing the part-time ministry kind of while she was also teaching. And as her kids got a little bit older, she went back to get her master's degree. So after she got her master's degree in psychology, she taught for a little while still involved in ministry, and eventually opened her own practice. Now, having her own practice, her duties are much more than just meeting with clients. When you have your own practice, you have to have malpractice insurance, business licensing, and then also take care of all the business stuff as well. She has to deal with billing and insurance and setting appointments, reminders, all those kind of things. And also making sure to take good notes, document everything properly, and she also does these in-depth assessments with each individual client that comes, and that's really cool. One thing that she said that I thought really stuck out is how she has her time broken up. She works 5 days a week. Mondays are her self-care days. She does Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday with clients, and then Friday she catches up on all the paperwork and all the technical stuff. She says that that's really, really important to have that one self-care day, because that one day at the beginning of the week where she spends time with God and just refreshes herself and does a self-evaluation, that one day sets the tone for the whole week. She says that had she not been a teacher for so long and been involved with ministry, she's not sure that she would have known how to have that healthy work-life balance. She says that with people in mental health professions, it is very easy to become burned out by just having so much on your plate and not having that little time for yourself. It's easy to get really caught up in trying to help everybody else, that you're not being good to yourself. And she says that if you're not good to yourself and you're being overwhelmed and you're having the burnout and everything, then you're not going to be able to counsel others to the best of your abilities. So she said that self-care was really, really important. And I have to take a second because I'm trying to remember. I'm sorry about that. But I also asked her, I said, what do you find most fulfilling about counseling people? And she said that the most fulfilling thing with counseling someone is watching someone who comes in with this sadness and this gloom and this just brokenness, watching the light come back to their eyes. And she says it's not even anything that she does. It's just as people get an accurate view of themselves and see themselves and their circumstances in a new light. It's just truly beautiful. When asked what the most challenging thing was about counseling, she said that it was pretty much just being in tune with yourself. And before you even begin a career in counseling, you have to make sure that there aren't areas in your life where you need counseling. Because if you're having, she calls them undone areas. If you have undone areas in your life and you go and you meet with someone else, there is the possibility of you transferring that onto them. And there is also the possibility of them transferring things onto you. And if you're already having these broken areas that could be triggered, if they transfer things onto you, which can be hard to deal with, if you're not self-aware and having that healing, then that could actually cause problems for you. When asked what recommendations that she would have for someone wanting to go into counseling, she says that, I thought this was really, really cool. Because, in the state of South Carolina, you do have to have a master's degree to become a licensed counselor. But she gave some insight that I wasn't really aware of. Having attended school for 4 years in an undergraduate program, I'm not sure what a graduate program was actually like. She says that it's through her graduate program and getting her master's. While she did learn stuff still, she was still learning and reading and taking classes, she also got this hands-on experience that she really, really needed. It was in those clinical trials and those practicums and those internships where she actually found some undone areas in herself, and she was able to get healing for that, so that in her journey into the field, she didn't take that with her. And there are also opportunities that she wouldn't necessarily have picked as a job, but she did for an internship, which gave her skills in dealing with people in the future and how to handle things in the future. For example, she said as her internship, she had to work with teens and kids and with a lot of things that they were dealing with their parents and stuff. And she said that that was really helpful to where she is now, meeting adults who are still dealing with hurts that they experienced as a child and as a teen, and seeing how the children and teens were, and then adults now. She said that was just really, really useful. So from this interview, I really did get a lot of great information throughout my entire course of school and everything. One thing that I continue to notice is that counseling is not for the faint of heart. It is pretty intense, and you have to be very self-aware, and you have to have a lot of competence and a lot of stability within yourself. And I definitely think that a master's degree, seeing as a lot of stuff gets pulled out in that process, I think that might be the way to go if one is seeking to be like an actual counselor. But it seems like even if you're not wanting to be a licensed professional counselor or something like that, it does seem like it would actually be useful even in just going to the field of counseling. My interview with Miss Nora was absolutely wonderful. I hope that I explained everything half as good as she did. Thank you so, so, so much. Have a wonderful day.